Welcome to NorCal Network at the Small Business Development Center webinar series. My name is Jerry Irvin, and I will be your facilitator for today's retail webinar, Launch Your Dream. This is a first in a series of 3. Just some background on the Small Business Development Center. They help entrepreneurs realize the dream of business ownerships and helping existing businesses remain competitive in a complex, ever-changing global marketplace. SBC advisors provide aspiring and current small business owners a variety of free consulting services and low-cost training services, including business plan development, manufacturing assistance, financial packaging and lending assistance, exporting, importing, as well as human resources, marketing, and restaurant management. And today we are honored to have Paula Madison Sierra Paula has an extensive background in retail. She's opened 4 locations, which is quite impressive. And she helps create and manage the touch points between you and your customers, bridging the gap between running your business and reaching your sales goals. Paula, I will turn it over to you for a wonderful, wonderful webinar.
Today, of course, as you see from our cover here, owning and operating a business is actually still a great option for the first-time business owner, someone who wants to get out there. But as I stated in my opener, it's more than just buying a few inventory that you really love, leasing a space, launching it. The marketing, the inventory management, the movement of product is going to be very significant, and how you run that in total. I know a lot of my corporate refugees, when they're displaced, move in. Basically, you want to start your own dream, right? But it's a very different mindset when you move from being the super employee to the orchestrator of your own band. Okay, and so it will be important that all the pieces are working together. Well, let's get moving. So Jerry's already shared our mission statement with you, and I've dropped this in so that you know our story and the impact that we have in the community and what we try to do. Our job is to create economic impact within the communities that we serve. We're in about 14 locations in the Northern California end. These are our services, some examples of classes that we've done in the past and could do. And, you know, at the end of the day, when you're running a business, it is such a great idea to get out and educate yourself. But more than just the education, the camaraderie of being around other business owners, because they get your brand of things that are going on, and they can share with you their successes and failures, and hopefully that can help you. And it will also help to expand and grow your referral base as well. Because at the end of the day, you should not be running your business by yourself. You should be looking to other business owners to partner with, especially on the retail front. How can we grow our businesses together? So these are the things that we measure when you come in. And by the way, besides these webinars and face-to-face classes that we do, we also offer great one-to-one tutoring, advisory with our advisors, and these are the things that we track. We will be sending you the evaluation form after, and let's jump right into it. So the economy, it was up, it was down, it was somewhere in the middle. We had an election. All these things are coming at us right now. Is retail still a great thing? Yes, retail is still a wonderful thing. But my message, as you see in my graphic, is meant to kind of chuckle you a little bit, because I know those of you who are already running your stores absolutely will get what this is. You can't put your head in the sand. This is the economy that we have, and definitely we're going to have to make sure that we're not doing things based on the old models. And for those of you who are already running a store and are still focusing on that mindset, so much has changed. AI, analytics, our numbers are going to be important, our behavior, everything has changed. And so we just simply need to incorporate the new way of doing things into the old touch way of doing things, because folks still like stores. They still love stores, actually. So let's do some of the numbers here so you can see what's out there. Retail sales hit an all-time high in 2017. Didn't want to share the 2018 numbers with you, but we're at $5.7 trillion according to the census. And by the way, this was better than pre-recession prices. Again, things have changed, prices have changed, but again, we're still moving, and it's still a fantastic opportunity. There was a 42% increase from 2009 recorded low of 4.06 trillion. So again, we're moving, and remember this this number does not reflect just the larger stores. This number reflects you, the small business owners, the local guys as well. So this one, the two significant factors that are affecting retail right now, and I think our entire board, because we also have Angel Cardoza on as well. He is the director of our San Francisco SBDC office, and he works with small business owners all the time on the retail front in general. Of course, we have Jerry, our moderator, on as well. And we can really, I think this is a conversation we want to open up and have a pretty large conversation on these two significant shifts that have happened that, by the way, is not just affecting retailers, but it's affecting quite a few businesses in general. And they are technological advancements, of course. The first technological advances are affecting how consumers behave and also our expectation. And so we're taking that in as we're making our purchases. And of course, we're demanding very different things. I'm going to throw that out to you guys. What's your thoughts on that? Because technology, there's so much happening, even in the way of my cell phone. I just recently purchased a laptop where my face has to be scanned for security before it lets me in. And so that's trickling out to so many things as well. Are there any thoughts that you can share as you're working with the SBDC clients?
Paula, this is Angel. Maybe I'll jump in. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, I can hear you. We can hear you perfectly.
Perfect. No, absolutely. I think that, like you mentioned earlier, I do serve as director for the office here in San Francisco, and there are quite a bit of clients that we see that do operate in the retail sector or industry, and there's a lot of shifts happening that we've seen. In particular, these two things. I think they're dead on. The technology advances. It's not only it's ultimately the way that consumers shop, and being available and being present and being the products being available when the consumer wants it. So I absolutely agree with the 2 points here. And then the second one being the above affecting the consumer behavior and the expectations. It goes back to technology too, and having the products readily available when the customers want them. So absolutely, these are the two items that we are seeing with our clients here in San Francisco.
Oh, no, totally. And Jerry, any thoughts that you want to add to that?
No, I completely concur that a lot of people want instant gratification when it comes to buying. They want it now. They don't want to wait 2 days, a week, 3 weeks. So that's the beauty of having brick and mortar stores.
You know, and right now I'm working actually with a client over on the Alameda County end of SBDC. That's another SBDC in the county next to San Francisco. And it's the same thing. She's realizing very fast, despite the fact that she's a hair salon. You know, you figure it's a straightforward business, but it has become a more challenging business because of these expectations. You know, so we're having to rapidly making sure that the branding is in place and all of these items are in place to make sure that we're communicating effectively with the client. You know, adding in the register system, adding in, making sure the marketing is on point, making sure that we pull them from the outside in, you know, and what can we do as far as mobile is concerned. So, yeah, we're seeing it quite a bit on our side. So let me drop this extra one on you guys. So our clients have become more selective after we went through the massive changes that happened in 2008 and the build up, more people are working again and feeling stable. But bear in mind that people are still thinking very differently about monies based on the fact that certain industries no longer exist and folks are having to go back to re-educate themselves into these new industries. And so despite the fact that there's monies out there, they're still very particular about how they're spending their monies. So they are very selective about what they purchase, who they patronize. They want to know about what are your philosophies? How are you, who are your vendors? How do you run your business? They're more focused on that than ever before. And of course, how you operate your business is going to reflect on all of those items as well. So there's still hope. I mean, I'm giving you all the gloom and doom. It seems kind of gloom and doomy, but it really isn't. There is hope. According to Forbes magazine, an article that they put out in March, their numbers are citing that physical stores are actually on the growth. I mean, year over year, by about 50%. People like touch. As far as the articles that are being pushed right now in broadcast, I think because it's a new trend, everyone is so excited by the fact that you can purchase something on your phone. I can walk into a store and scan something. I can pick up my Starbucks, walk out. I don't have to stand there. We're all excited by the technology, but the reality is that people love to be around other people. Even those folks that are not people persons like to sit by so that they can at least watch and be critical of the people that they won't speak to. People love being around other people. And so the mindset of locking us away in our houses to make purchases is not something that I think I think right now it's a trend. Again, it's just based on my observation being out there. However, as we can see from the numbers, stores are still growing. It is, however, driven by a couple of trends that are taking on to the numbers that we saw earlier. So and of course, what happened in 2008 as well. So the dollar stores, because people are still, even though they have monies in their pocket, are still kind of particular about what they're spending. So dollar stores are on a massive hyper rise right now. Off-price channels are also doing amazing. The TJ Maxx of the world, the Rosses, the Home Goods, the DSWs of the world, they're doing well. However, there's one that I also want to point out to you on the screen here, upscale specialty stores. Those niche markets are something that when I teach the more expanded version of this face-to-face, this is something that I always recommend to small business owners. Let's face it, it's difficult to compete with the larger guys. But going after a specialty brand, an example of that would be small sizes, large size men, maternity clothing, maybe a bike shop or something like that. More of a narrow focus, but pushing that further upscale, offering great service, exceptional service. It's going to be at a very different price point. The quality level is going to be higher. And these items, as we see, this is part of the drive that's going on. And of course, one that just makes me kind of snicker a little bit, the digital origins, the digitally native brands that have been pushing out, it's so old school, this physical, the brick and mortar is out, old fashioned, order us by phone. Right now, they are quietly, or maybe not so quietly anymore, because Amazon did purchase Whole Foods, moving very progressively into your physical space, Mr. and Mrs. Small local store owner, because they know that this still has so much legs. So keep that in mind as you're hearing all the naysayers saying retail is dead, it's going. Again, it's just reposition. It's a little bit different right now. We just want to keep looking at that, all right? So customer experience is everything. Great customer service, exceptional customer service is going to be important. So who you hire to put in front of your customers are going to be very significant. Be realistic, but still dream very big, okay? If you started your store so that you could close it at 5 and do the 9 to 5 thing, like when you were working at corporate, then this is not a good option for you, because again, folks have changed. After 2008, people, their hours are different because they're in school, they're doing very different things. We need to offer more convenient hours based on how our customers actually shop now, not yesterday, but now. Know your customers. Guys, right now, everything that you do has analytics. If you get the right registers, that's offering you analytics. Your Facebook page is offering you analytics. Your website via Google Analytics on the back end is offering you analytics. You should be looking at technology to help you with that so that you could actually respond well to what's going on with your customers. And of course, again, don't follow the pack. Look at the segmented niche items that we're talking about. Don't try to compete with the big guys. I hear it so many times when I do my face-to-face. I get the hands raised and I get asked the following. They can buy X at Walmart for this price, so I need to make my item at that price. That is a very erroneous mindset, and you need to shake that out of the tree, which is your head. Shake it out, okay? Because they are larger. So by volume and how they've negotiated their purchases, they can get the price to that. You cannot. You're a smaller company. So maybe you should look at doing the brands that they're not doing, offering the better quality brands that they're not offering, working with vendors, manufacturers who offer you very different setup. Maybe they're just starting. Don't follow the pack. You're going to have to make your own road here. So planning your business, let's roll right into that really quickly. I'd like to just do like 3 or so minutes here. I hear it all the time. Well, I just started a business. I want to just jump right in. That's fantastic. Sometimes you just have to jump in and make a mistake. I get it. I see all the reading right now in whether it's, Harvard Business. I hear it. I see it on Forbes. Just try, go out there and make a mistake. I love that you will go out there and make a mistake, but go out there and make a mistake with a plan in your hand. You don't have to be locked into the plan. It's just a guidance. Think of it as a grocery list. When you go to the supermarket, I know that when I go to Trader Joe's without a list, sometimes things come back that shouldn't come back, right? So having that as a guidance for yourself is going to be very, very helpful. You may go in and say, hey, I only need 6 eggs. I'll just buy half dozen. But by the time you leave, you realize, wait a second, now I'm going to bake something tonight. I'll do a dozen eggs. The plan is there just to guide you, so it helps you to make the right decisions, to compete effectively, structure for profitability, target the right customer instead of saying something like, I can target everyone. Everyone loves my store. Everyone wants to be here. Everyone. This is not true. Everyone's not your customers. So get to know this target customer, because guess what? This is the person who's going to help you to grow for profitability, grow your business, help your family, and move your business forward. So why wouldn't you want to know who this person is? Get to know them very granularly. Know what your competition's doing. Are they outpacing you? Have you outpaced them? Get to know them. And again, it helps you to grow. So the other thing that people are scared of is your startup costs. It's like, well, I didn't really do a budget. I can't tell you so often that I see business owners who, by the time they get to me, have blown through their monies. Now, guys, this is your retirement monies that you've decided to take a chance on. Let's take this money serious. Make a budget for yourself. Pick up a phone, make the phone call your vendors, and by the way, if the vendor is asking for too high a minimum, you could say no, go find someone else who will allow you to purchase things just in time, meaning just as I need them, I order it and I can just order what I need basically, instead of investing all of these dollars into things that I'm not going to get. So there's an infinite range in retail when it comes to the possibilities, and it's going to be based on your demographic, your market, your location. Of course, your rent's going to be different from San Francisco to Alameda to Pleasanton to Texas. So it's going to range, right? So again, understanding where your budget is and what your inventory costs will be. And by the way, not just your inventory costs for stacking the store the first time, stocking the store the first time, but what happens if you do such a great job at marketing and you need to reorder? Make sure that you have monies allocated to that reorder as well, right? So here goes some typical items. So I'll leave that in for you to review. Remember, your licensing is part of that, your decor, not just the inside of the store, but the outside. Because remember, you're a store and now it's very different. We're competing with so much technology. People are looking down their phones, looking away. How do we get them from the curbside inside the store, right? So you really need to take your curbside really serious. You really need to take a peek at that. The signage needs to be there, et cetera, et cetera. So I'll leave that for you. If you have any questions, remember to reach out. I've dropped in a business plan tool for you via the SBA and a free step-by-step tool. It's free. So if you do decide that you're going to take this chance and go and do this, or if you're already in business and you decide, you know, I should really sit down now that I've done this and made too many mistakes, let me create a plan. So here you go. Inventory. This is a big one for folks. What should I order? How do I order? Again, it's going to be based on, remember what we talked about, knowing your target audience. Get to know them like you're starting a great relationship with them, so you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You'll really have a great idea of what they want and start there. Remember, it's not the me story. It's not about you. It's about what they might want, okay? So here are 4 elements of things that you should be thinking about, right? Fourth, the type of merchandise sold, the variety and assortment of the merchandise, the level of customer service. You need to make sure that the merchandise you're choosing and the look and the feel of your store are going to be aligned with each other. It needs to make sense. I'm sure you guys have seen products in a store and you've looked at it and you've seen a price that doesn't make sense. It doesn't roll seamlessly with the look and feel of the product. And you say to yourself, there's something wrong with this product. Maybe there's something wrong with it. Maybe it's too cheap. Like, what's wrong, right? And of course, we should have snagged it, right? We should have grabbed it. But our clients are not that dissimilar from us, okay? Understand that when you confuse them, they will not purchase. So understand that your retail mix is more about them and not about you. What do they want, okay? And remember, make sure that you're scoping out your competition. What are they purchasing that's selling really well? Can I get a better quality version, et cetera, et cetera? Let's see if we can. I dropped a couple of questions in that you need to ask yourself as well. I'm going to just roll through it to the last one. Notice, understand what a 6-month merchandise plan is. I dropped in a little GIF for you. This was shared on YouTube via a college, I think out of New York. And it's all of their lessons on how to create a proper merchandising and inventory plan. Typically for clothing, we're looking at fall, holiday / spring, summer. You know, typically you're buying that way. But again, the rules have changed a little bit. Even when I owned my own store, I took those rules and kind of threw them out the window, and it started going by more of a month-to-month plan. So I was always just 1 month planning ahead based on the experience of the store, the clients that the experience the clients were having in my store currently, and what do we need to give to them for next month, because they were excited about this. I didn't want to repeat those inventory, but what could they buy that seamlessly worked with the items that they already had? So what should next month look like? When should I put my sales on? What will get pushed back to the back of the store and be in the sales area? Where will I put the new inventory, et cetera, et cetera? It allows you to tie everything else to it. Your marketing effort, your curb appeal items that you have outside, so that when those new items come in or sales happen, when signs go out, et cetera, et cetera. So that's a 6-part series. I hope that works for you. So marketing, let's jump right into marketing. Any inputs that you guys have so far with your clients that you're working with?
Hey Paula, this is Angel. So I think this is you're definitely Dead on. A couple of things that stood out for me that I'd like to just chime in on is first off is the concept behind a business plan. And I just want to make mention that one of the things that I found, and I'm sure both of you have also seen it, that people get turned off once they start seeing what the business plan outline looks like, what it requires, when they see a template, and oftentimes they become discouraged and just completely give up on, writing a business plan at all. So I think just one thing that comes to mind is that unless you're going to be requesting some type of financing, either from investors or banks, you don't need a formal business plan, right? As long as you're answering key questions, and I think the ones you listed were dead on. Is there a need? Is there a demand for your product? Is this the right time to enter this type of market? Can you make a profit from this? So I just want to make just kind of throw that out there, that unless you're seeking out financing from a lender or from an investor, you don't need a formal business plan. Just take a look at those broader questions, answer those questions for yourself. You don't have to make it nice and pretty. Just hone in on those questions, making sure that you do answer those at least for yourself. And the second thing that I want to also point out is you dived into the startup costs and the projections and the budgeting. A lot of people, once they start seeing some of these spreadsheets, they end up intimidated by the spreadsheets. It's not that complicated, because ultimately it just comes down to, well, how much money do I need? When do I need it? And where am I going to get it? So, but if we don't answer those questions, one of the things that, too often, and unfortunately I see with some clients, is that, to your point, Paula, you end up burning your cash. Well, guess what? If you burn your cash halfway through the project and you don't have enough to complete the project, at that point in time, it's too late, and it's very difficult to actually end up accessing the additional money that you have. So you're much better off just doing that early on, so that you don't run into that problem. So those are just my 2 points that I wanted to point out.
Totally. I know that is actually, that's so true. People are very fearful of the, but I have to say, if the only thing that comes from this is the fact that they've researched, that is so important to me, that they've actually just get to know your industry in a deep dive. You need to immerse yourself in your industry and really get to know what's going on with your industry. Why would you venture into an industry with monies in hand, with your savings basically, without just simply doing some reading on it? And the wonderful part is, now the library is on virtual, you can borrow books online. There's a lot, we're in the sharing economy. There's a ton on YouTube of folks just simply sharing, this is how I started my business, this is how I budget, this is how you do this, So if you want additional resources, the resources are there. So utilize them, and of course we are here for you as well, because for us, our reward is in the fact that you actually have economic impact on the county that you're located in, and so that's where we get the magic from. When you're successful, we're successful, and of course it's selfish. Of course you're paying taxes, you're hiring, you're able to make purchases that invests in the community as well. This goes back to everyone. So let's roll into some quick marketing, because I know we're kind of rolling through our time here. So the reason why you do marketing, again, marketing is not just about coming up with some great ideas. Okay, guys? So don't just sit with your friends. Let's just come up with some great ideas. Roll it back a little bit. I want you to take it more seriously. It's about creating revenue. Marketing is a revenue activity. Okay? It's about maintaining the old customers that you finally converted. So once you get those guys in, they love you, we want to keep them. It's about, to find new customers. Of course, everyone's focused on that, but don't forget the old customers as well. And over a period of time, it's about building the brand, building the reputation of the business, having people know who you are, right? And of course, the extras, I know a lot of people will ask me when I do the live class, how much money should go into marketing? I'd say if anyone tries to lock you into a specific number, I say walk away from that. My new thought line, again, I'm evolving too, because my area, marketing, is massively changing right now. When I started marketing, let's say 25 or so years ago, you had to follow this metric. However, with all of the tools in front of us, we don't necessarily have to lock ourselves in. We can get to a broad base of folks on Facebook for even $100. You can get to, thousands of people and expose your product to them. So again, but it's all about how you create the story. And again, here you'd have another plan as well. So I wanted to just drop in the 5 P's of marketing. I know it's called the 4 P's of marketing for those of you guys who've taken a marketing class. No, Paula. Well, Paula's been doing marketing for a long time, and my only debate with this is, shouldn't there be 5 P's of marketing? Because the people are the foundation that the rest of it rests on. And it's a P word as well, so why not do it, right? So the people, who are they and what are their expectations? The product needs to be in line with what they want. The price needs to be in line. The placement, the location that you're choosing also needs to be aligned. And then we get to the promotion. So these things need to be in line as you're creating your plan, okay?
And one of the things, Paul, I like to have people do as a test is to go through magazines and pull out photos of the people which they would define as their clients and post those photos up in their office. So when they're actually doing marketing, they're talking to those people and they're not confused as to who their market segment is.
No, that's completely true. You're actually right about that, because it will actually, and for our more extended class that we're planning to do, because remember guys, this is a 3-part series, and we will be doing another one on more of an extended marketing and also on visual merchandising, and for the non-visual merchandising person. But in those other areas, I kind of expand out, and we do the same thing as well to give you a visual look of what your customers look like and have a discussion about it openly in class. So again, before you get to promotion, notice it's the one on the very bottom. We want to make sure that all of the others are in line. Who are the people that we're targeting? What are the products that they like and want to see and would be excited about? Again, remember, we're not just dittoing the large guys. We're going out and making an earnest look and finding vendors, right? The price needs to make sense. It's like an example of that would be putting a Gucci purse in Target. They wouldn't possibly understand why a wallet for $5,000 be at a Target location. That would be confusing, right? So it needs to be in line with what the customer expectation is. And of course, your location would be part of that. And then once you get all of those speaking to each other, now let's look at your promotional elements.
And Paula, there's one client I had years ago, and they were an interior design drapery manufacturer. So they made drapes, but they were only charging $25 a panel for these drapes.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, they're talking to high-end consumers, and high-end consumers don't want to pay $25. They just think it's an inexpensive item that they're paying less money for. So I told them to raise the prices, and they actually were successful at the higher rate.
No, totally. I mean, when I had my store, same experience. I mean, we had a pair of jeans in the store, and we priced it at $69. And I was very excited because the margin was fantastic. And we're in a San Francisco is a jeans town. Everyone wears jeans here, It's very acceptable to wear a jacket over it and wear to work, And however, no one was really purchasing. They tried on, you'd see them, oh, wow, the fit is fantastic. And then they would put it back. It would end up back on the display area. And so my thought was, did I really look at what was out there? Like, what was their expectation? And so I literally took a day and went to all of the boutiques around town who were similar to my boutique. But not only that, I went to the Old Navy's, I went to Gap, and I realized that my price was in line with Gap's price. And then what I had to do is when I finally came back, I didn't want it to be past a certain amount. But I added $30 to that and made it $99. And they actually started purchasing. We couldn't keep our jeans in stock. It was like became our biggest dilemma. So the expectation needs to be in line because they're looking at it. They love the quality of the jeans fabric. The stitching was on point. The fit was right but they were spending, when I looked at my competition, 170 for 7 jeans that were not fitting great and who were not necessarily in the maternity jeans business. And so the fit was completely off. And so their expectation, they were already at another level. So you need to, again, we do not want to confuse our customers. They need to understand it needs to make sense. Okay. I dropped in some basics. Are you doing the basic, guys? I can't tell you, and you may be looking at a couple of these and going, why does she have these on the screen? Because I'll tell you, once you start getting into running your business and you're out there and you're in the circle, there's so much coming at you. You're managing the project of getting the store together, the curb appeal, inventory, you're hiring, licensing, you're getting all of this stuff together, managing your budget. It's surprising what slips through the fingers of very smart people. And this is why they've ended up here. So signage, curb appeal, remember, they need to know what's in the location. Your website, that can't be we'll do it in a month once the store launch. Absolutely not. The website needs to be built either before or during your construction so that you can use it as a tool, letting people know this is what's going on, check us out, get on our mailing list, look at the progress that we're making, look at the vendor that we just, make sure that you're doing it. It's called Buzz Campaign. We'll talk about it in marketing. Hopefully you guys will be there. Be consistent. Are you consistent greeting your customers when you come in? Is your employees doing it? Packaging, your bags, those are important. Your small retail stores, the bags need to make a statement. Is your names on it? Can you stamp it on it? Can you buy a sticker? There's a lot of tools out there that are super cheap, Vistaprint and the others, and you can utilize that to dress your bag. What is your frontage actually attracting the customers? Are they walking by not knowing what's there? Your interior needs to be clean. It needs to have interest. Lighting needs to be on in your window, outside. It needs to be on when your store closes so that the store is lit up. And of course, again, the layout of the store. But I'm going to go through a quick case study with you guys of why it's important to turn your lights on, and I'm just going to use all visual. Hiring an electrician to place an exterior light on a timer is very inexpensive in comparison to what you're going to get from it. And for those of you guys who are like, oh, I'm going to burn through electricity, it's going to be expensive, you're talking about pennies in marketing. So I'd like you to stop and just look. So this is a higher end, it's the Anthropologie. This is their store lit at night. And notice just the windows are lit. So their brand is still there. They're showing off their best, their new incoming items, because we know, as we are consumers as well, that when we walk past a store, we look. Our eyes engage, we're still shopping, and we register the brand. It's important to keep your lights on. This is Dewey's, also with their lights on at night. And notice how the light goes all the way. And these are just spotlighting, by the way. So the whole store isn't lit up, but it's just enough where it's tantalizing your tongue, right? This is, and here goes a window to reflect even more light, right? At Lavin, right? This is this is a Goodwill in my neighborhood. And I just wanted to share the look and the feel of the store. So even as a Goodwill, they're really focused on how the store is laid out. And actually, they've taken it up another level. Maybe I'll share that with you during the marketing class. This is a salon that's close by to me. And again, all up lighting, and look at why it's so important. Same here, this is a flower shop. The rest of the store is off, but just the spotlighting on the inside. Basic marketing as folks are going by, going to restaurants, getting some froyo, what have you, but they're seeing the store, aren't they? This is marketing that's costing you pennies, and it's helping with your brand. Okay, this was a miss. No lighting opportunity here. And the thing that killed me about this store, the reason why I took this picture to show you, right across the street is my neighborhood's hottest restaurant that just opened. There are 2 of them. And everyone's outside standing with a glass of wine, waiting to get into the restaurant and look at the opportunity. And one store is lit because they're about to close up, but there's no outlighting. And look at the store next door and the one next to it. And look at the missed opportunity. So again, a simple tool. Remember, with Marketing, when you're retailing, looking at retail marketing, it's about the relationship. It's that psychological portion that kind of pops up a little bit more than other types of marketing, okay? Customer service. The only thing I want to say about customer service here, you need to remember that when you're running a small store, you're not Walmart, where you go into the store, there's no one there, right? It's my joke when I go in with my friends. I'm like, you think there's anyone here? Let's see in Target if we can find a clerk. Let's see if we can find someone to help us with customer service, because there's so few of them, because that's the way the large guys run their stores. You're smaller, it needs to be very different. You know, so there needs to be a boutique level service. Even the local corner store guy who has a supermarket can offer great customer service here. So this is not an option. This is not an option for you to say no to. Staffing. This is going to be very important, guys. I can't tell you how many stores that I go into where the owner may not be there, but they've hired someone who is such a negative personality that clients do not want to come into the store because you've hired wrong. So make sure that you understand, make sure that you're training them, because at the end of the day, this may be your fault for putting someone in without training. So train them on, this is the way I like my store to be run. No compromising on it. This is the expectation. Okay. I kind of shortened this down really quickly for you guys, but here's the summary here. Okay. And I'm going to break these out a little bit. Working within the current economy is going to be your new catchphrase. Be courageous when you do your research. Don't be scared of reading. You know, don't be scared of the numbers. Just take your time and read it through and look at it, because from those numbers are going to come solutions. The primary one, understand your customers. Really get to know who these customers are. They're going to be the best thing about your business, because they're heralds. They love your business. They're going to tell other people about how great it is to come to the store. They're going to tell you about what new products they want, how they're behaving, and how we should gravitate to them. Use technology in your favor. I know it's a lot cheaper to go with a simple Casio register. It's easier, and you may be doing it for a variety of operational reasons. However, having a register system where you can see the comings and goings of your clients. What are they not buying? What are the days when they're buying a lot? So that you can know that this is a day that I need to do extra staffing so I can service them. You know, this is a product that's not working. We need to put this item on sale, so that you can tie it in. Look at all the marketing tools that are out there. They also have technology tied into them. And with them, there's a lot of changes going on as well. So you need to keep a really tight eye on that. Are you taking credit cards? Again, it sounds like a kind of silly technological one to do. Well, I don't want to take credit cards. I have to worry about the payments and all of this stuff. Stop. People spend more, exponentially more, when they can swipe a card versus walk around with a load of cash in their pocket, because they can simply say, well, it's in my bank account and I really came in for 2 of this, but by the way, the price is so good, or, you know, your sales awareness has made them say, well, let me just get another one. I can't do that if I'm going based on the monies that are in my pocket, but I can swipe a card. So all part of your technology. And remember, those companies also have analytics as well. You know, these companies will allow you to expand out so you can take maybe payments on your websites. And let's face it, guys, by the way, I know a lot of people are going to rush to it and say, well, I want to do online purchasing on my website. It has been proven that small companies, small stores, do not see as a high online sale, but I'll tell you, it's for the convenience. Someone comes in your store, they're excited about you. They leave, maybe they were visiting the States, but now they can get back on the horn and go, let me just order this thing really quickly via your website and be able to utilize that product and have it shipped to me. Have it has a convenience. And there's a plethora of products out there that are very affordable so that you can lock it into the back end of your website. manage your inventory, budget for marketing, make, there are a lot of free stuff out there. You don't have to pay for anything, but it takes a long time to garner those relationships. So to be able to push a little bit of it with some marketing dollars are going to be very helpful for you. So mingling those two. Once you launch, have a plan about moving forward. Opening day is not, and all the things that you've been through to open the store was not the difficult portion of it. The challenge will be in running and managing and operating your store on a day-to-day basis and doing that effectively, and seeking out help and at least having some guidance to getting your business done. Again, do not run your business by yourself. We're the SBDC. We're here to help you. Again, we're doing our next class on the 29th. Is marketing your business. We will send that off to you. Please check the San Francisco SBDC's website, and also for those of you on the San Mateo side, the San Mateo SBDC's Facebook page as well, plus our websites for the next webinars coming up. And that's what we have for you today. Please reach out. Again, I dropped in just the San Mateo SBDC on this, but for the San Francisco guys who are going to be checking in with this, remember that you can also check with the San Francisco SBDC website as well. Thank you so much, everyone, and go out and push forward with your businesses. Thank you.
Thank you, Paula. Let's give Paula a big thank you for sharing her wisdom about launching your retail dream. And again, she said, please join us for our next webinar in marketing on Wednesday, August 29th, and in visual merchandising and marketing strategies. On behalf of the NorCal network of the SBDC, I'd like to thank you for attending our webinar today. And for more information about the resources such as workshops, free consulting offered by the Small Business Development Center, check out San Francisco and San Mateo. And with that, Angel?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, Paula, I echo what Jerry just said. Thank you so much. I love the presentation. I particularly enjoy the fact that you follow the 20/80 rule. A lot of people end up getting so lost in you hear marketing, and you start going into the marketing mix, and you start thinking about the various promotional tools, and you start thinking about the website and all the works that comes into it. The reality is that about 20% of that is going to give you that 80% result. So I love how you honed in on those key elements that every retail small business owner needs to take a look and actively do before they start doing all these other things that can get very complicated very easily. So I really appreciate that. And then the last thing I want to mention also is that we are SBDs. There's about 1,000 SBDCs across the United States. So if you're not located in San Mateo County, if you're not located in San Francisco County, that's okay. We have an SBDC that serves your region, your county. So just log on, search SBDC in your county, and you can find one of us. And there's a team of experts, like Paula, like Jerry, that really, know their stuff. So please do reach out to us, do connect. We're here to help. And what's best is there's no cost associated with the service. So with that, Paula, thanks again. Jerry, thank you so much for your support. This has been awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great. Go out and make it a great day. Thank you. Bye now.